All right, everyone, we have good news. Link in the description, archived, of course. The new natural gas boom is beginning in the United States, starting with Louisiana, where Governor Jeff Landry just signed an order which has to do with emissions, not CO2. We'll get to that in a second. But sulfates and nitrous, where the fuck's my nitrous, by the way, with regards to both natural gas and nuclear energy. This is the right way to go for a long time, and it's being opposed by the NIMBYists, like the fake environmentalists. Like, oh my God, no, we should be using solar and wind. Okay, hey asshole, let me ask you a question. When you're in the hurricane zone, if you set up a bunch of windmills or solar fields, what's going to happen to them? They're not going to pay themselves off. They're going to be destroyed. That's what's going to happen. The next time that a Cat 4 comes roaring through, you've lost half your energy production. Relying upon that in certain climatic zones is a terrible idea. If you're in an area that tends not to get particularly inclement weather, then they can be good solutions. You have offshore wind all over in the Netherlands and places like that, but they tend not to get hurricanes there. It's apples to oranges. It's a little bit different now, isn't it? Also, we're reliant upon foreign imports in order to actually create this energy. For example, we just found one of the world's largest deposits of lithium in Arkansas and another large deposit in Idaho. We've got enough lithium to make, millions and millions of home solar panels, which is what we should be doing. Incentivize people to put them on their homes. They get a battery-powered generational system with our own lithium, with our own silicon and so forth. We can do that ourselves. We don't need any imports. We don't need to build solar fields. They're building one. It's going to be an eyesore. They're building a solar field, for example, right here in Rutland, not far from where I live. Used to be a cornfield. Well, they decided to build solar panels there instead. What's the fucking point? Put the goddamn panels up on existing structures around the downtown. You're taking up no additional room, and you can let that place turn into a forest or something like that. You can have a food forest if you wanted to. Giant ass orchard or something like that. You can use it for producing things other than electricity. The problem with solar is it should be decentralized, not centralized. Wind power is useful in some areas, not in others. But natural gas and nuclear are useful everywhere. And so that appears to be the point of this particular act in Louisiana, and I support it strongly. What we should be doing is ramping up production of literally everything. So, mine out the lithium, make solar panels, put them on homes, no muss, no fuss. We can do it a lot cheaper. We can create a bunch of US jobs. That's great. We do actually still produce aluminum. I'm pretty sure that we're capable of making windmills. Last I checked, the American people were ingenious enough to actually accomplish this fact. I think we can do it. We've got a shit ton of natural gas, a shit ton of oil, a shit ton of coal. We also have uranium deposits that are largely neglected because of regulation. If we were to simply unbridle our energy infrastructure, number one, we could feed all of our own energy needs on a generally decentralized basis. Our grid would be much more hardened against attack, against weather problems. It would be so much more efficient and so much cheaper. Number two, right? Since we'll have so much extra energy that we're producing, we can export some of these energy resources and make moolah, making even more money, by the way, for U.S. shipping firms and things like that. We'd have money hand over fist. We're one of the most energy-rich places in the goddamn planet. I do not believe that we have even scratched the surface of the energy that we have. Hell, remember fracking? Which does come attendant with some problems. When we began fracking, hydraulic fracking, we realized, oh shit, there's a hell of a lot more energy down there than we originally assumed. Hell, look at oil. Look at Texas. I think this was in 2018, if I remember correctly. They were doing exploratory drilling in and around the areas where they thought that they had extracted all the oil. Oh, no, there's hundreds of thousands more barrels down there. We just didn't have the technology to extract them. This has happened over and over again. The idea of peak oil is a joke. The idea that we're going to run out of uranium and shit like that is a joke. The idea that we don't have the technology to make it even more efficient is a joke. And Landry very wisely appears to understand this. Therefore, at least in this particular state, you're going to have an energy boom. Louisiana, I believe, has natural gas resources of its own that it can extract. Thankfully, you have an administration that's probably not going to stand in their way. Look for the courts to try to intercede. No, you're not allowed to have the oil. No, you're not allowed to have natural gas because those crabs over there might die or something like that. And then the judge themselves probably has crabs too. It tends to be a big problem. We need to extract more energy. Now, I am an environmentalist. My answer is extract the fucking energy, get rid of these stupid solar fields, put those on existing structures, and let them grow back into forests. It's fairly self-explanatory. If you're walking down the street and you see trash, grab it, bin it. Get rid of the concept of just recycling and re-add, reuse, and reduce, which was taught to us in the 90s. It seems to have been generally forgotten. And everything will be fine. We're producing less emissions now anyway. It's mainly China and India that are producing most of the emissions and the trash and shit like that. Hell, we ship our trash to China. Where do you think that ends up? Ah, in a landfill. How lovely. You're going to build buildings on top of it at some point, probably. Everyone will be living in mountains of trash. It'll be a little bit like a dystopian 80s movie. It's rather sad. No, we need to all do our part. We also need waste to energy incineration systems. This is something that has been done before and is still, by the way, done by some other countries, but is so heavily regulated in the United States that it's not really commonplace. All that plastic would make an awful lot of energy. Took up a few steam turbines and go to town. Makes sense now, doesn't it? With scrubbers and shit like that, you can remove most of the noxious emissions they would release, and then again call it a day. You can power thousands of homes with one of those systems, and they're clean. They actually work. We've been doing this for a while. Otherwise, that plastic will spend the next 1,000 years slowly degrading into a landfill, leaching into the surroundings, and giving people brain damage. I think that incinerating it is probably a better idea. That's about all. Peace out.